Hippopotamus. Most people think crocodiles are the undisputed kings of African rivers, but the truth about hippos is more shocking than you can imagine. That massive herbivore? It's actually the crocodile's most dangerous neighbor. Picture this: 3 to 4 tons of territorial aggression charging through the water, jaws opening to 150 degrees, tusks gleaming like ivory daggers. Yeah, suddenly those river ecosystems look a lot more complicated. Here's the twist no one expected. Those jaws generate a bite force of around 1,800 psi. Not the strongest in the animal kingdom, but devastating when delivered by an animal this size. And unlike what internet videos suggest, hippos don't actively hunt crocodiles for sport. But when territorial disputes happen, especially during mating season or when calves are present, hippos don't back down, ever. Everyone says hippos and crocodiles are mortal enemies, but here's why that's not entirely true. Let's break it down. Most of the time, these two apex species coexist relatively peacefully. They share the same rivers, the same mud banks, the same watering holes. Crocodiles know better than to challenge an adult hippo, and hippos generally ignore crocodiles unless provoked. This creature's story is like a tense neighborhood. It's about respecting boundaries and knowing when to walk away. Now, the biggest question everyone is asking: what happens when they actually fight? Here's the reality. When conflict does occur, usually over territory or if a crocodile threatens a hippo calf, the size advantage becomes overwhelming. Hippos weigh up to 10 times more than most Nile crocodiles. Those tusks can grow up to 20 inches long and are capable of inflicting fatal wounds. The hippo charges, and the crocodile's best move is retreat. Documented cases exist of hippos killing crocodiles, but these are defensive encounters, not predation. Hippos are herbivores with zero interest in eating crocodiles. Sound familiar? Think of neighborhood disputes, but one neighbor weighs 4,000 pounds and the other has the strongest bite in the reptile world. In the river, both are apex species, but when push comes to shove, mass wins. Elephant. You think you've seen everything about elephants being gentle giants, but let me show you what they missed. 6 tons of walking power that makes crocodiles irrelevant. If a crocodile encounters an adult elephant at the water's edge, it doesn't attack, it avoids. Because this one thing could change the way we see everything. Size differences matter more than most people realize. And if you thought crocodiles were formidable, wait until you hear this. Spoiler, they're not even a consideration for adult elephants. An adult African elephant stands 10 to 13 feet tall at the shoulder, with tusks that can exceed 10 feet in length and weigh over 100 pounds each. Picture an elephant at a watering hole, calm, unhurried, and utterly unbothered by nearby crocodiles. But here's the kicker. Elephants don't need tactics or strategy when dealing with crocodiles. They have overwhelming size and defensive aggression. A single stomp from an elephant generates thousands of pounds of focused pressure. Crocodile armor, those thick osteoderms, provides protection against most predators, but not against multi-ton mammals. If a crocodile is foolish enough to bite an elephant's leg or trunk, the response is immediate and crushing. What makes elephants particularly safe from crocodiles is simple physics. A crocodile that attacks an adult elephant is making a mistake or is desperately hungry. There are documented cases of crocodiles biting young or weak elephants, but adult elephants? They wade in, they drink, they bathe, and crocodiles give them space. Keep watching because what I'm about to reveal next is important. When elephant herds cross rivers, the adults form protective circles around calves. If a crocodile approaches, multiple adults respond with coordinated defensive aggression, trumpeting, charging, stomping. The crocodile is an ambush predator optimized for prey it can overpower. An adult elephant isn't prey, it's an obstacle. And in a direct confrontation, it's not a battle of wits or tactics. It's 6 tons versus 1,000 pounds. Math wins. Great white shark. Great whites can reach 20 feet in length and weigh over 5,000 pounds, significantly larger than even the biggest saltwater crocodiles, which max out around 2,000 pounds and 20 feet. But let's correct the record on bite force. Saltwater crocodiles have the strongest bite of any living animal at approximately 3,700 pounds per square inch. Great white sharks are estimated at around 4,000 pounds per square inch for the largest individuals. Similar, not double. Pound for pound, the crocodile's bite is actually more powerful. Everyone says this would be an easy fight for the shark, but here's why that's oversimplified. Crocodiles are ambush predators optimized for rivers, estuaries, and coastal shallows, where they control the environment. Great whites are open water hunters built for speed, maneuverability, and endurance. They can swim at bursts of 35 miles per hour using streamlined bodies and powerful tails. A crocodile in deep open open water is slower and less maneuverable. Not helpless, but definitely out of its element. And if you thought that was the whole story, wait. Bull sharks present the more realistic scenario. Unlike great whites, bull sharks thrive in both saltwater and freshwater, meaning they actually do encounter crocodiles. Sound familiar? In rivers across Australia, Africa, and Central America, bull sharks and crocodiles share territory. When conflicts occur, usually over carcasses or fishing spots, the outcome depends on size, aggression, and circumstances. Large bull sharks have been observed driving crocodiles away from food, while large crocodiles do the same to sharks. The key factor: environment determines advantage. In shallow, murky water where crocodiles excel at ambush attacks, the crocodile has the edge. In deeper, clearer water where sharks can use speed and agility, the shark dominates. Neither is a guaranteed winner. Both are apex predators adapted to slightly different niches that occasionally overlap. Orca. Picture an orca in action. 32 feet of marine mammal hunting with cultural knowledge passed down through generations. An adult male can weigh up to 12,000 pounds. Their jaws contain 40 to 56 interlocking teeth, each up to 4 inches long. But here's what matters most. The real advantage is size combined with intelligence. This creature's story is about being an apex predator with no natural enemies, and the ability to adapt hunting techniques to different prey. Orcas have been observed hunting everything from great white sharks to blue whales using specialized techniques. For sharks, they flip them upside down to induce tonic immobility, then hold them until they drown. For seals, they create waves to wash them off ice floes. Now, the biggest question everyone is asking: what about crocodiles? Let me be clear, there are no scientifically documented cases of orcas hunting saltwater crocodiles in the wild. Here's why that matters. Orcas and saltwater crocodiles inhabit different primary ranges. Orcas are oceanic mammals that prefer deeper water and rarely venture into the shallow coastal estuaries where crocodiles thrive. Yet crocodiles are coastal and riverine predators that avoid deep ocean water. The overlap is minimal to non-existent. This is a classic who would win internet scenario that sounds plausible but lacks real-world documentation. That said, if a hypothetical encounter occurred in deep water, the orca would have every advantage. Massive size difference, 12,000 pounds versus 2,000 pounds. Superior speed and maneuverability in open water, pod coordination, and intelligence. The crocodile would be out of its element entirely, but this remains theoretical. What makes orcas uniquely powerful is their adaptability and intelligence, not some mythical crocodile hunting prowess that doesn't actually exist in nature. Lion. Everyone says lions would destroy crocodiles on land because of speed and agility, and they're partially right. A male lion weighs between 400 and 550 pounds with a bite force around 650 psi, significantly less than a crocodile's 3,700 psi. But bite force isn't everything when you're talking about different hunting strategies. Lions are built for explosive power, speed, and precision. They can sprint at 50 miles per hour in short bursts, leap 36 feet horizontally, and those claws, up to 1.5 inches long, are designed to grip, slash, and immobilize. Here's where context matters, and this could change everything you thought you knew. On dry land far from water, a lion has overwhelming advantages: speed, agility, maneuverability. Crocodiles on land can move at short bursts up to 10 miles per hour with a belly-dragging gait that's effective for short distances but not for sustained combat. Picture a lion in action. If it catches a crocodile far from water, the crocodile is in serious danger. Lions target soft, vulnerable areas, using speed to avoid the jaws while attacking from behind or the sides. The crocodile's armored back provides protection, but lions are experienced hunters that understand anatomy. There are documented cases of lions killing crocodiles at watering holes, usually during confrontations over territory or prey, particularly during droughts when resources are scarce. But wait, here's the critical detail. Lions typically hunt in prides, and coordinated attacks shift the balance dramatically. Multiple lionesses can surround, distract, and attack from different angles. The crocodile's greatest weapon, the death roll, requires water for maximum effectiveness. On dry land, it's a powerful bite attached to a relatively immobile body. Sound familiar? Think asymmetric warfare. Each predator is optimized for different terrain, and victory depends on where the fight happens, in or near water. The crocodile has the advantage. On open land, the lion dominates. Neither actively hunts the other under normal circumstances. Both are apex predators that generally avoid unnecessary risk. Mutual respect through threat assessment. Gorilla. An adult male silverback silverback weighs between 300 and 485 pounds with extraordinary strength, 10 to 15 times stronger than an average human, capable of lifting over 1,800 pounds. Those arms, that muscle density, that raw power, it's genuinely impressive. But here's what almost every gorilla beats crocodile claim gets wrong: physics, anatomy, and behavioral reality. Now let's break down why this matchup is actually terrible for the gorilla. First, size. A large Nile or saltwater crocodile weighs 1,000 to 2,000 plus pounds, 2 to 4 times heavier than even the largest silverback. Like, that mass difference is crushing literally. Second, the idea that a gorilla could sidestep a lunging crocodile and grab its jaws ignores crocodile attack speed. Crocodiles can launch from stationary to full attack speed in fractions of a second at point-blank range, faster than primate reflexes can typically manage. Third, and this is crucial, the claim that crocodile jaws are weak when opening is technically true but functionally misleading. Yes, you can hold a crocodile's mouth shut with relatively modest force, but you need leverage, positioning, and both hands committed to that task. A gorilla holding a crocodile's jaws shut cannot simultaneously attack the underbelly. It's physically committed, vulnerable, and dealing with 1,000 plus pounds of thrashing reptile with a muscular tail that can knock a human unconscious. Here's the reality check that changes everything. Gorillas are mountain forest dwellers with no evolutionary experience fighting crocodiles. They don't live near crocodile habitats. They've never developed anti-crocodile tactics because they've never needed to. Their strength is adapted for climbing, foraging, and defending against leopards, not grappling with armored aquatic ambush predators. A crocodile's bite, once it lands, can shatter bone and cause massive trauma. One successful bite to a limb, and the gorilla is catastrophically injured. Keep watching, because this final point matters most. In a forced encounter on land, a gorilla's best strategy is avoidance and retreat. Gorillas are intelligent enough to recognize mortal threats. They're not predators. They're herbivores with defensive aggression. A silverback might charge and try to intimidate, but engaging in close combat with a large crocodile would be suicidal. A crocodile is built for exactly this kind of violent confrontation. The gorilla is not. And when specialized predatory anatomy meets generalized strength, specialization wins.